Hello everybody, Storm here. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, the road to 56 Honduras. In the last episode, we kind of bogged down in Peru. I had to try to send our troops to the front in Peru because our allies weren't able to hold it, but because we were really depleted on manpower, we weren't really able to hold it either, and it was looking like we were in a inevitable slow grinding loss with the sheer amount of just weight of the Chinese alliance that even NATO was struggling, and it was not looking good. So I made the decision to roll back to a prior save and try a different path, and that is what we're gonna do. So I have rolled back to the save. I believe this is the save at basically the end of episode 12, start of episode 13. So let's refresh on what the situation is. We are currently involved in the war with the Comintern. Our troops are currently in Mongolia, pushing across the Mongolian Soviet Socialist Republic. I don't think I have my attaché in China yet. We do have our motorized division template. We're trying to train some motorized divisions. We'll see about that. Armored cars are kind of short. Turkey has not gotten involved yet. I have to be very careful. Alright, we're still working on this. Alright, and we're still working on all destroyers and cruisers. Alright. Now, I thought about just running things a little bit first, but considering how random stuff can be, we're just going to pick up here, and we're going to see what happens. So let's get to it. Alright, Hades joined Union Hispanica. Alright, I don't remember exactly what I did over here, but we'll just push it. Alright, there is the capitulation of Mongolia. Excellent. Alright, 1940 cruiser. Alright, it's not 1944 yet. It's not 1944 yet. Alright, let's get on construction or industrial research. train manufacturer. Yeah, we are still... I'm pretty far behind here, but... Okay, we're still working on this, and now that's finished as far as we can get it. Because I need to go to partial mobilization. Actually, war economy is probably where we want to head. I need 150 political power to do that, so we will work on that. Yeah, let's contribute to not dealing with this. Alright, armored personnel carrier. Actually, let's get imagery equipment upgraded. Submarine efforts. All right, I want everybody. Here with plans. Yep, I gotta pay attention, and as soon as Turkey is involved, I'm gonna deal with it. AT rockets. Alright, construction, excavation. Now, ultimately, I ended up disbanding these guys. I'll let them train out. I need a new operative. Yep, everybody is still redistributing. Alright, anti-tank 43. Are we in 44 yet? No. But we're close. Alright, then let's get ahead on night vision. There we go. Create faction with Turkey. All right. Now, we called ourselves the Union of American Socialist Republics before. But I don't think that makes sense here. Give me a second. Alright, well, I couldn't think of anything that great, so I just came up with the Grand Socialist Union. Pretty generic, but you know what? It'll serve. So, we now have ourselves an ally. Excellent. Now, let's switch over to war economy. Let's then get this going. Now, if everything goes according to plan from previously, Turkey is going to take the pressure off of Iran. Alright, centimetric radar. Phased array. No, we want the Colossus series. Alright, there's our new operative. We're just going to pick somebody. There's a whole bunch of our troops there. You know what, we're going to tell them to strategic redeploy. And then recover once you're in place. Same thing for you, and same thing for you. Just... Alright. I think what I'm actually going to do here is our motorized infantry I'm going to send to Turkey. I'm going to give them fallback line orders. Alright, we're going to get them moving. I really don't want to disband these armies if I can avoid it. Let's see, division recovery rate. No, we're going to give them logistics wizard. Reduce that supply consumption. Alright, we're not in 45 yet, but we are in 44. So we're going to get the advanced small airframe. What I'm going to avoid is what I did before, is grinding out our troops along Khotan here. I still do want to wrap around here and try and link up with Iran. Oh, right, yeah. We want you to join our wars. Alright, anti-tank rockets. Let's get on aircraft. Let's get the engines. No, let's not do any of this, you know, goofy reorganization stuff. Let's just collapse this front. Fog intense dispersal device, right. Now, one thing I do want to go ahead and try and get going sooner is this additional aerodynamics and avionics facility. Yeah, let's do that. So that we can hopefully get those breakthroughs needed to build jet engines a little bit faster. Keep working on concentrated industry. Alright, so what I think we're gonna do is let's delete that for a second. Let's concentrate everybody over here. Tell everybody to redeploy. Alright, Turkey's taking Baku. let's let everybody recover. Alright, excavation. Keep going with the construction research. Alright, I think this is where actually I might make a different decision. Yeah, so we're just gonna sit here, and Agent was killed. Well, that's no bueno. Alright, well, send someone else there to start to maintain that network. Let's see if we can infiltrate their army. Okay, yeah, I think what we actually need to do is redirect our forces. North. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Yeah, like that. There we go. Can you guys strategic redeploy? Thank you. There we go. Oh. Yes. Okay, we just finished this. Okay, so we need to recruit a scientist. I don't have enough political power to recruit a scientist. Okay, well, we're almost there. We're almost there. Insufficient resources. Thailand will send us the rubber. We don't need as much steel. Alright. Begin the plan. Alright, let's get our motorized infantry moving to the front. Alright. Our objective will take Rostov-on-Don. Begin. Well, we didn't quite get very far, did we? Alright, need a new operative. Okay, here we go. Now we can actually recruit a scientist. There we go, and we can start working on the nuclear reactor again. Yeah, I assumed that Turkey is going to be able to take control of our faction. Because they're just a larger, more powerful nation, so... I fully expected that. What was that? Ah, our advanced small airframe is complete. Civilian Signal Corps. Alright. The intelligence agency is fully upgraded. Yep, actually, this is a bad spot. Alright, change of plans. Change of plans. Because that's in the mountains. I don't necessarily want to be in the mountains. Redirect. Redeploy. Alright, improved aircraft engines. Very good. Ah, yes. Ship research. My effort here. Let's try that push. Okay. Let's restrict our front. Alright, night vision's complete. If you know, first and foremost, let's go with the artillery upgrade. I think that's going to work better. This is better terrain for my motorized infantry. The mountains, not so great. And let's see how far I can get before they can redeploy. Alright, high frequency radio direction finder. Yep, let's get that going. Yeah, I don't want you extending that front all the way over there. We need to keep this particular force highly concentrated. But that seems to have broken the floodgates a little bit. Now that Turkey is actually in our faction, we can send our Air Force up there. Yeah, let's deploy some fighter wings. Alright, construction, excavation. They put a lot of planes over here. Alright, we got a lot of stuff here. Let's see, advanced air launch torpedoes. That's good. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and have you get to work on this. I know we're ahead of time on it, but that's fine. Supply problems. What else is new? My goodness, look at how far away we are from any kind of supply depot. Can I fix that? I can fix that. Oof, that is a terrible rail route. That would be better. Okay, yeah, this is not so good. Alright. We need to go onto a defensive posture. don't know if that's gonna hold. We overextended our supply lines by a bit. How are things going over here? Alright. Tell them to redeploy as well. Let's get everybody into position. Like, why does it do this? Okay, so there's a new avionics. We need to recruit another scientist, which we don't have enough political power to do, so we'll have to wait to do that later. Alright, but we're at the end of the episode, so we'll go ahead and end here. Yeah, go ahead and end here. And hopefully we can get all this built. I have to hold out to October, it looks like. Alright, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see if this change here makes any difference. Alright, but for now, we'll stop here, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.